Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am extremely excited to finally be sharing this video with you guys because we are starting a new series here on YouTube that I've been wanting to do for a while now, which is remodeling every single apartment building in The Sims 3 Late Night Bridgeport. Bridgeport is one of my absolute top favorite worlds to play in, except it's ugly as hell, okay? Like, the apartments are a no-go for me. I don't like them. Some of them are really big. For example, the one where we're at today, which is Crescent Bay Plaza, which is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. But for some reason, the layout that the EA team made is like, it's so big, it takes up all the budget for like a starter sim. So I'm here to fix it. Also, you can see me staring out the windows because I did move the apartment, okay? This is not like an actual remodel of the old apartment. I can do one if you guys want, but for this apartment in particular, again, it was just too big. The layout is ugly, and all the windows were facing the ocean, which is cute if you think about it, but like, come on, girl, you're not gonna get that view with starter funds, okay? So being realistic, and plus, I'd rather also just stare at the city, you know what I mean? Like, I want all the vibes. So it looks like I'm working on 2 apartments at once, which I was until I decided which side I wanted to stick with. But I was doing that just because I couldn't pick a view. Like, I like the other side too, the side that I didn't go with, because you can actually see the crane. And like, if that's not city girl, I don't know what is, you know what I mean? Although, who the hell am I? Because I don't live in a city. But listen, one of my favorite types of videos to watch on YouTube is New York City apartment hunting. So I don't know, I'm like into the vibe. I feel like in a different life, I would be a city girl, just saying. Like, I would like to go and live in New York and just live my best life. Unfortunately, I can't do that within this lifetime because I'm broke as hell, first of all. Second of all, I just kind of want to have my own land at this point in my life, even though I'm very young. But anyways, also staying within the topic of like my favorite types of videos to watch on YouTube being like New York City. Oh my god, my voice. Anyway, sorry, I just woke up. I'm having peppermint tea though, which is my favorite, and you would know that if you watch my streams. By the way, go follow me on Twitch if you don't. But anyway, sorry, self promo. What was I saying? Oh yeah, one of my favorite types of videos to watch on YouTube is New York City apartment hunting, especially for those that are like on a budget, because, you know, realism, hello, like not everybody can afford a penthouse, okay? But so one of the things that I've noticed in those videos is that the tenants usually do have like more than one unit to show within the same building. So me kind of working on 2 apartments at once, honestly, is kind of a vibe. So let me know if you guys would like me to do that for the next build, where I like give you 2 options of where your Sims can move into, and maybe style them a little differently, each of them. The other thing with like New York City apartments, also, I know Bridgeport is not based off of New York, but listen, girl, it's as close as we're gonna get, so let a girl dream, okay? Actually, I have no clue where the hell Bridgeport is based out of. I always forget. I feel like I looked it up before, but I guess it's not that important that it's stuck in my brain, pretty much. But anyways, yeah, if you guys want like more than one apartment in the build, let me know, because I think that would be cute. And like I was gonna say, New York City apartments, even though they're in the same building, they're kind of like differently shaped, each of the units, which in my opinion is pretty cool. I like that. I like that there's like differences within the units. But anyway, so let me know if you guys do want to see that for one of the next potential remodels. Another thing to point out is also when I decorate builds and stuff like that, I usually do it very sporadically. So if that bothers you, I'm so sorry, but I can't like sit there and finish one room without like moving on to the next one in between. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it flows better that way for me. But anyways, as you can see, we're working on the bathroom. We did the kitchen, which she's a vibe. I like her. Oh, another thing about the kitchen though, now that we're in the bathroom, now I'm gonna talk about it, but anyways, I forgot a fridge. I forgot a freaking fridge, but it's okay because I ended up fixing it. I noticed it when I was taking screenshots and I was like, girl, what am I doing? But I fixed it. So you will see the like fixed version in the screenshots. I didn't record me fixing it because, you know what? You got the point with the screenshots, okay? But yeah, I forgot the fridge, which who the hell cares about a fridge, you know what I mean? But I was trying to have my sim cook because I used her on TikTok and it was like not working, and I was like, girl, what is happening? But no, it was because I'm stupid. So another thing that I should point out about this apartment is that it is not meant to look brand freaking new, okay? So a lot of the things kind of don't match, and especially the wood in the actual apartment itself. So like the, what do you call it? The crown molding of the wall or whatever. even though it's, I don't know what you call it, girl. I'm not a freaking builder unless it's Sims 3, but I don't know all the terminology, okay? I didn't need a degree for this. But anyways, none of the woods match. The counter wood does not match the floor wood. The wood floor does not match the freaking door. It is done like that intentionally because I feel like this is how it is in a lot of apartments. And even though this is a thing in a lot of older apartments or apartments that tenants have like remodeled here and there over time, I don't know, it kind of adds a charm to the apartment itself. I don't like super clean modern builds in the first place. I prefer it to have a little bit of charm. So I don't know, I just feel like it's much more homier this way. And then also same thing with the bathroom. The tiles are squared on the wall, and then on the floor they're like diagonal diamonds, which again, it's meant to not look super cute and super modern. It's meant to look a little ugly and gross, but in a cute way, you know what I mean? So I tried to make it look a little, I guess dingy is the word. I don't know, girl. Anyways, moving on to how I actually decorated this apartment. So usually in all of my builds, I do like to clutter a lot of the spaces up. However, I feel like I didn't go overboard with this build. It definitely looks like somebody does live here, which, you know, that's the point. That's what I want. I don't like it when it's extremely bare. So even though it still is a starter apartment, it still has a lot of character. Because that's the other issue with a lot of these Bridgeport apartments is for some reason EA made them so big, which is fine if it's not meant to be a starter apartment. You know what I mean? Like it would be fine if it was not meant to be a starter apartment and it was actually like nicely decorated. But again, that's the issue with a lot of these Bridgeport apartments is they're so sparsely decorated because they're big for no damn reason and all of the tiles eat up the entire budget, therefore leaving you with no budget to even decorate with in the first place. That is another reason why I actually didn't remodel the apartment that was originally in this building, because even if I were to do like a quote unquote realistic remodel, like trying not to break down any of the walls, I still wouldn't have enough budget to furnish it. And even in this build, you can see I used a nice TV. That's like over 1,000 simoleons, a little over 1,000. But a lot of the furniture that I use is like the cheapest that I can use. And even then I still filled it up. I made it look cute. In the bedroom, you're going to notice I used the cheapest bed, I believe it is, the metal frame one. And actually, it's one of my favorite beds. I really wish your Sims wouldn't get bad sleep on it. And actually, now that I say that, I remember seeing a mod on Mod The Sims that gets rid of the bad sleep, a moodlet or whatever for your Sims on the cheaper beds. So probably going to end up downloading that one because yes, please. I don't know. I just like the metal bed. I like that it fits different aesthetics. It's just cute. It feels a little industrial, but it can also feel very princess-like. But yeah, so long story short, I ended up using a lot of like cheap furniture. For example, the table that you're staring at now is base game, very cheap. I believe it's the first one on the list. Here's the thing though, like in The Sims 3, you can get away with using the crappiest things is because we have the help of the very amazing and very useful Create a Style tool. So you can definitely get away with, again, using really cheap stuff and just making it look cool. And also, I didn't use any CC in this build, so if you were worried about that, don't worry, girl. I don't think I have, well, no, I'm lying. I maybe have like a couple, probably like a handful of CC items within the actual game. But yeah, I don't like CC like that. I get scared that it's gonna break the hell out of my game, so I just don't download it. So if that keeps you away from downloading builds, don't worry. My builds usually, no, they never have CC. But again, I feel like that's also thanks to Create a Style because I get to keep using the same items over and over again without getting bored because I can give them a new style each and every time. One thing that I do want to point out, because I don't know how many of you are like picky or whatever, but I'm just gonna say it. Listen, I don't know the freaking logistics behind brick walls and where they're supposed to go now that we're staring at a brick wall, so don't come for me, okay? I don't know. I just felt like it looked cute there, so that's where I placed it. I also placed one on the wall where the TV is at, which is directly, it's the same wall that we're staring at now. So that makes sense to me. And then I also put one as the backsplash in the kitchen. So listen, if it doesn't make sense to you, it is what it is. This is The Sims 3, okay? The building is not going to collapse. I repeat, the building is not going to collapse. Thank you very much. I know some people are like very particular when it comes to like placing certain stuff. Girl, I'm just trying to have fun, okay? And make it feel like we're in freaking New York City. And again, I know Bridgeport is not based off of New York City. I know, girl, I know. And also, I know that there is a custom world that is based on New York City. Like, I think it's actually literally New York City for The Sims 3. Somebody was crazy enough to spend all that time creating that map, which, you know what? I applaud you. I applaud you because that is a lot of freaking work. I've tried creating my own custom world and tried and failed, girl. I do not have the patience for that. No, no, no. And also, I can't figure out routing, okay? So that's why I'd rather stick to me just remodeling stuff, I guess. And here's the thing. I've never, well, no, I have. I have played in like custom worlds. But I can live without them, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them don't come populated, which is cool. But like, that's a lot of work. I'm a very lazy person, okay? So if it's not populated already, I'm just probably not going to play in it, friend. But yeah, I've tried it. I feel like custom worlds are pretty cute. And you know what? If I'm being honest, honestly, one of my like dream custom worlds, and when I was like messing around with custom worlds and stuff like that, or create your own world, whatever, I would love a world based off of like Seoul, South Korea. Just because I love the apartments in Seoul. Like, again, I am an apartment girly, okay? I love watching apartment tours or like apartment hunting in New York and Seoul. I don't know. I just love it. I love the loft style of it. When I was messing around with the Create a World tool, that's what I was doing, was trying to make a world based off of Seoul, but it's a lot of work. It's so much work. And I just don't have the patience for all of that. So I do applaud everybody who makes custom worlds. I was also thinking potentially maybe doing like world overviews. I feel like it would be interesting coming from the perspective of a sim player who never plays with custom worlds. So let me know in the comments down below if that's something that you do want to see in the future potentially. I'm not sure yet. It's just a thought. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see that. But talking about world overviews, go check out one of my newer friends within the Sims community, CJ Plays. He does world overviews. I'm sure you guys have probably seen his videos. But anyways, go check him out for world overviews. Oh my God, not the freaking promo in here, but you know what? I got you. Anyways, moving on. We're moving on into the bedroom. I have been in my clothing rack phase when it comes to bedrooms, and like this little shoe rack phase as well. I don't know. It just makes it feel like there's more stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels more lived in. Like, girl, who the hell has space for all of their clothes in that little wardrobe to the left? You know what I mean? So I love putting clothing racks in my Sims bedrooms. I don't know. I just feel like it elevates the look. And then also this bedroom itself it's very simple. I didn't put too much into it, but I feel like it definitely still gives off the lived-in vibe. Again, I did go with a Christmas-themed bed sheet for the bed, but you can change that if it's obviously not winter in your game or whatever. Anyways, let's switch gears and actually talk about how I'm actually furnishing the apartment. So for the furniture, you probably noticed that it's very mismatched, and it's done like that on purpose. I wanted to give off the impression that like you picked up most of your furniture off of the side of the road from like people that don't want it anymore and they're giving it away for free. Because again, if you're like starting off in the city, whether it be like a sim or just a sim couple, you're going to be roughing it out. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have the most amount of money to spend on like really nice furniture or a really nice apartment. You're going to try and do what you can in the beginning. And again, if you have seen any of like my streams or whatever, something that I always like to say, because people always ask me like, Concat, why don't you just cheat? Girl, I like to struggle. Okay. I feel like it makes my Sims games just more, I don't know, it gives it more depth. I just get more attached as well to my families when I'm struggling and I've been through the struggle with them. Like, girl, we can't pay our freaking bills. And you know what? That makes me love you more. I don't know why. I don't know what's the psychology behind this. I don't know, girl. But I like to struggle in The Sims. So if you find yourself getting really bored of your households really quickly, I promise you cheating is the reason why, because you're not going through the struggle. Again, it's all about the struggle. It's the satisfaction of actually finally being able to buy your Sims, you know, from going from this apartment, for example, to like buying the most expensive house in Bridgeport without cheating. Like, do you know how satisfying that is? And I would know because I have done it before with one of my previous households. I didn't buy the most expensive house, but I did get them to the top of their careers, and they were making a lot of friggin' simoleons, girl. And again, it was very satisfying. I was very attached to them. Unfortunately, that save file got corrupted as hell, so it broke my little heart, but I still have the screenshots of them, and anytime I look back at them, I get so sad. So you guys have probably heard this story as well if you've like been in any of my live streams where I talk about this Sim family. This is them. And that's the first Sim family that I truly did not cheat with, and here I am still crying about it today in 2023. So long story short, don't cheat. I promise you it makes a world of difference in your Sims game. I bet you even in the Sims 4 it's like this. I don't know though. Again, I'm not a Sims 4 girly. I don't really have a good relationship with her. Like, me and her just don't really get along. But low key though, I've been saying this for a couple of days now. I really want to get the For Rent expansion pack just to like talk crap about it. I feel like that would be fun for me. But then again, I think back and I'm like, girl, that's $40 freaking dollars for a tiny little mediocre world that looks like it's freaking paper. Like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, see, this is my issue with The Sims 4. Like, they really be putting no effort into any of their packs, and it's just really annoying. It really is annoying, and like, I wish more people would talk crap about them, but you know what? It is what it is. That's why I'm here. But anyways, long story short, don't buy The Sims 4, play The Sims 3. Anyways, again, I did put a Christmas tree in here. This is free Sims 3 store content. They put this out, well, they used to when they cared about us. They put out cute little packs for the seasons. So again, the apartment is meant to be like placed in winter time, I guess. But if your game is not in winter, you can obviously use that space to either extend the living room, or you could even put like a cool keyboard back there, an instrument, or another bookshelf. Honestly, the apartment layout, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I feel like it's pretty spacious, even though it is pretty small. Oh, and again, I did forget the fridge, but you guys will see what I ended up doing with that in the screenshots, which are actually coming up. So the last couple of things that I placed in the apartment are for a furry friend, and other than that, that's it. I'm so happy with how this apartment turned out. Make sure you guys stay tuned for these screenshots. If you guys like these type of speed build videos where I'm just rambling in the background, let me know by hitting the thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe, because again, I am going to be turning this into a series where we are remodeling all of the apartments in Bridgeport. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.